Today in PA is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Stay nice and cozy this season by heading to Renewal to get 20% off every window and door with nothing down, no payments, and 0% interest for 18 months. Call 717-727-7558 or drop by rbacentralpa.com/deals for more information. Offer ends December 31st. Pennsylvania might start divesting public funds from China. And yet another health network was hit by a cyber attack. A report has found how financially dependent young adults currently are on their parents. Lastly, people looking to leave their bodies to the Mütter Museum may not get to do that. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and you're listening to Today in PA. Pennsylvania divested its government holdings of certain firms in Russia and Belarus, as well as both countries' governments, last year, reports the Center Square. Now, a few officials are thinking about doing something similar for China. Senator Doug Mastriano sent out a legislative memo this week outlining a divestment plan from, quote, a regime that continues to trample on human rights, unquote, and one that failed to prevent fentanyl from getting to the states. This proposed divestment would be a gradual one from the state treasury, as well as the state employees' retirement system and the public school employees' retirement system. And while State Treasurer Stacey Garrity expressed openness to the plan, others stated there would be complications for things like pensions. The State Employment Retirement System's Defined Benefit Fund, for example, has over $920 million connected to companies in China, Hong Kong, and Macau. Further information regarding this divestment plan remains pending. Yet another health network has been hit by a cyber attack, reports PhillyBurbs.com. This podcast has extensively covered all the cyber attacks that have occurred this year against health networks and how such attacks are on the rise nationwide. Capitol Health, which has locations in both Pennsylvania and Jersey, has become the latest victim of ransomware. Capitol Health suffered outages and had a number of its patient services impacted from an incident that occurred earlier this week. Outpatient radiology currently remains unavailable as of the recording of this episode, and some appointments need to be rescheduled. IT investigators are still working on completely resolving this issue, which could take a few more days, and although the nature of the attack hasn't been specified, officials do believe it's similar to the attacks that have occurred against other healthcare networks. Current data is showing how young adults are taking longer to reach, quote, key life milestones, unquote, like financial independence from their parents or living on their own, states PennLive. In their curiosity to find just how much parents support their adult children, USA Today decided to survey 5,000 parents of at least one Gen Z or millennial to see how much money they give their kids and what areas of life they help them with. Turns out that Pennsylvanian parents give the second least amount of financial support to their kids, with just North Carolina behind them. Washington young adults are found to be the most financially dependent. As for what parents are helping their kids out with the most, USA Today found it was primarily groceries, followed by housing, then smartphones or phone plans. The Mütter Museum is currently undergoing changes that are revamping their whole approach to displaying human remains, begins the Philadelphia Inquirer. Something else this podcast has covered. But while Today in PA has mainly discussed the ethics and criticism of this change, it's never talked about people who are alive looking to leave their bodies to the museum. That's right, there are a few people out there who had planned to have their own remains, or even just parts of themselves, put on display at the Mütter after their death. But as officials are working on a new remains policy, those last wishes have been put on hold. Says one interested party, Barbara Cutson, quote, if the museum is really changing its vision and mission, maybe that's not the best fit for me. Would you guys donate your bodies to a museum? Just curious. Let me know at todayinpa@PennLive.com. That's all for today. For even more Pennsylvania news and beyond, check out PennLive.com. And please remember to rate this podcast, either Apple or Amazon, and to email me at todayinpa@PennLive.com with any thoughts you may have, potential body donations included. Thanks ahead of time, and of course, thanks for listening. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and I'll talk to you during Friday's episode of Today in PA. Today in PA is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Stay nice and cozy this season by heading to Renewal to get 20% off every window and door with nothing down, no payments, and 0% interest for 18 months. Call 717-727-7558 or drop by rbacentralpa.com/deals for more information. Offer ends December 31st.